Review for The Empire Strikes Back, this is.
Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. I'm going to review the Star Wars movies I haven't reviewed before. I reviewed A New Hope on May the 4th, and I reviewed the prequels a long time ago. So I thought it would be time to review The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, and The Last Jedi, leading up to The Rise of Skywalker, the finale in the Skywalker saga. And I thought it would be a great time to rewatch Empire Strikes Back. I've seen this movie, I believe, 5 times this year. I watch it so many times. It's a Star Wars movie I'm constantly rewatching, constantly getting different views out of, constantly understanding more, and looking at the brilliance, masterwork in this masterpiece of a movie. And this is easily the best Star Wars movie. I do like it a little bit more than New Hope. Even though I think A New Hope is a more solid adventure, this one is so character-driven, and it's so fast-moving and so entertaining. And it's so thrilling, and it looks gorgeous, and there's a lot of things to say with The Empire Strikes Back. Man, this is a movie I love to go in depth into. This is the movie that made me want to go in depth into movies. It's a movie I watch and I'm just like, oh my god, I just want to analyze this movie and every other movie I watch. And it's the movie that makes me want to do that, and that's why it's specifically really special to me as a movie. It's not just my favorite Star Wars film, it is my favorite movie of all time. And it has a special place in my heart, and it urged my love for movies, just like A New Hope did, and this original trilogy does. And this is the peak of what Star Wars is, and I've never seen a movie that has been this influential to my life, or is this influential to me as a person, or my love for movies, as much as The Empire Strikes Back. It is also a masterpiece of its generation. I am blown away that this movie came out in 1980. I can't fathom how amazing this movie looks. The cinematography, the direction. Oh my god, this movie looks gorgeous. The Hoth sequences are brilliant. The Dagobah sequences fill me with warmth. And the Cloud City is just such a thrilling, amazing sequence. I cannot wait to talk about The Empire Strikes Back. Let's get into this movie. Let's start off with the characters, because I feel that this movie really delves into the characters. It gives us a lot of things to love. The romantic storyline between Han and Leia, absolutely perfection. It's one of my favorite romantic stories I've ever seen in a movie, because it works so well. Them two arguing at the start of the film and gladly just coming together towards the end, and the scene where Han gets put in carbonite. They finally express their feelings for one another, and then Han gets thrown in carbonite. It's just like a moment, because you're just so happy for these two people and so sad for them at the same time. The themes as well that they put in this movie, this I think has the best use of Star Wars John Williams music in any movie. And even though A New Hope has probably more memorable themes, this introduces us to some very memorable themes. Probably the best musical movie theme of all time, the incredible Imperial theme tune, the dun 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 dun. Darth Vader in this movie. Holy crap, this is where he became the best villain of all time. In A New Hope, he's this really menacing character, but he doesn't really do much in that movie. He's hardly in A New Hope, but he still has that screen presence. But here, they add so much depth to him. You get that one little moment in there where, because you see him putting this helmet on, and you just see the back of his head all scarred and everything. You're like, oh god, this is one evil man. He's killing his officers left and right. You are scared for these officers. Every time he's on screen, he invokes terror. The scene where Luke is having that amazing vision on Dagobah, and he just bursts through the trees, and Luke cuts off his head, and there's just Luke's face in there. That's like, oh my god, well done, Star Wars. Really metaphorical sequence. What does that mean? I've actually spent loads of time analysing that scene and what could that mean? And Luke finding out the truth. And that's this whole movie, setting up Luke, giving him this dread throughout the entire film, consistently feeling sorry for him as a character, consistently being like, there's something wrong here, there's something Yoda is scared of for him, there's something Obi-Wan isn't telling him, there's something Vader is concerned about when hearing the name Skywalker, and this whole thing comes together to give us one of the most impressive movie twists of all time.
No, I am your father.
Which, of course, I don't even need to say spoiler warning, because you know. No, I am your father. Oh my god, the best movie twist of all time. I mean, Still to this day, when I watch this, I can't remember the first time I watched this movie. I was too young, I can't remember. But every single time I watch this movie, that scene just fills me up with dread for Luke. Because it's not like I understand now. It's like oh my god. That's terrible. It's a horrible feeling you get inside, this feel of complete tension and dread for these characters. The rebels now, Luke as a character, he's just got nothing, and he willingly commits suicide. He doesn't know he's going to survive, and Leia's going to catch him in the Vulcan. He's willingly dying inside, and I love that moment. And him coming back on top in the next movie really, really gets me amped. And I can't talk about Return of the Jedi as well, but The Empire Strikes Back is a tense ride. The Millennium Falcon constantly trying to hide from the Star Destroyers. The amazing sequences with the Star Destroyers in this movie. The ending final chase where the hyperdrive isn't working. There's so many amazing musical themes in this movie as well. Of course, you've got the Imperial theme tune. You've also got Yoda's theme. Phenomenal. And Yoda in this movie, man.
Alright, I'll give it a try.
No. Try not. Do. Or do not. There is no try.
He's really silly and hilarious when he's hitting R2-D2, mine! And the hilarious sequences with Yoda are just amazing. He's such a lovable character, but then, when you learn the truth, he becomes this wise, amazing, wise person who you just respect, and when he lifts the X-Wing out of the water, do or do not. There is no try. Chills everywhere, man. Chills everywhere, man. I'm getting chills now just thinking about that scene when he lifts that X-Wing out of the water and Luke's like, I can't believe it. And he's like, that is why you fail. Oh, that message hits core in there. Oh, man, Yoda's training with Luke. And this is a movie where I feel like I'm always in The Empire Strikes Back. When I watch this movie, I feel like I'm there. I feel like I am with these characters in the Avenger. I feel like when the hyperdrive isn't working in the Vulcan, I feel like I'm in the Millennium Falcon just going wobbling around. It's so amazing. I love how the Millennium Falcon is always broken. It's not this badass ship anymore. It's breaking. It's old. And we also get introduction to some new characters, like the Emperor. You find out that Vader really isn't the all-powerful. He is controlled by someone else. And Vader himself is given a lot of development in this movie. He's given a lot of really good father relationship stuff at the end with Luke, where Luke is sort of questioning his life, and Vader is also a really incredible moment, and they're speaking to each other through the Force. We get this nice little moment where we think Leia might have the Force, where she goes and helps Luke. There's all these little things that are given to us in The Empire Strikes Back. It ends on a massive cliffhanger, not because of that, because there's so many things we come to learn about these characters. Han Solo's off in Carbonite, and Boba Fett is taking him to Jabba the Hutt. We have no clue what's going to happen. And the ship flies off at the end. Luke gets his hand cut off. It's just like this really intense moment, and that entire finale on Cloud City is some of the best filmmaking I have ever seen. The complete tension and horror set up in that scene. It really is a scary scene. Darth Vader has a really intimidating feel to him. And again, when that twist is revealed, you just feel all the life being drained out of you for these characters. And it's just a complete and utter shock. And again, even if you can't remember it, every single time you rewatch that scene, it just fills you with a lot of feelings. And The Empire Strikes Back is a movie that consistently has with those feelings from the opening scene. The scenes on Hoth as well are amazing. They're extremely exciting. The AT-ATs blasting everyone. It's really good, and I like how the Rebels they never win in this movie. Every single step of the way, they always lose. And they get that little oomph of escape at the end when R2 finally fixes the hyperdrive, and everything's happy now, and everything's great. But it's these subtle messages that are put in, and it definitely looks more into the mystical side of Star Wars, where you actually finally see someone use the Force. I mean, imagine, of course, we've seen all the other Star Wars movies, we know what the Force does, but in A New Hope, we never actually saw someone use the Force. When Luke grabs that lightsaber at the start of the movie, I bet people are like, what the hell was that? And you learn the Force does have all these amazing magical powers that we get to experience in The Empire Strikes Back. It's our first look at that mystical side of this amazing galaxy far, far away. And that's just something I love about The Empire Strikes Back. is that it really does create this galaxy. I think to this day it's still one of the best directed films of all time. The shots here are masterful. Their use of mist and colour are used excellently. Every single time a laser blaster is shot, I can feel something. It's so intense and it's so exciting, but still, this movie has a lot of amazing humour. As I said with Yoda, amazing. C-3PO and R2-D2, Chewbacca, Lando Calrissian has a lot of charm, and he's constantly a character that sort of, it's very interesting to see that character play out with him betraying Han and everything like that. He's a very, very interesting character to see, and I really love that character in the movie, but it's these dark, subtle feelings we get with these characters consistently in The Empire Strikes Back. There is not a single dull second in this entire film. Every single second, something is happening. The incredible quickness of this film, it just happens so in the moment. There isn't really a story around it. It's just the Empire sort of chasing the rebels and really intense situations. There really isn't a core story. It's just a lot of setup and very, very tense moments, which allows to focus a lot more on character. And that's where I appreciate this movie so much, is the characters. That's what makes Star Wars as amazing as it is. The music, of course, the direction, the incredible cinematography, the planets. I love Hoth. I mean, Hoth, Dagobah. Every single time it's snowing, I imagine I'm in Hoth. Every single time I'm in a woods or a forest, I feel like I'm in Dagobah. That's how much The Empire Strikes Back has influenced my life. And the point is, every time it's snowing outside, I'm like, yes, Hoth time! It's amazing. I love The Empire Strikes Back. It is not just the best Star Wars movie, because it's so fast-paced, but so much into the characters. But it is my favorite movie of all time, and it is one of the greats. And it may not be the fully best, but it is one of the best movies ever made. I mean, nothing compares, right? I mean, it doesn't. This is one of the greatest movies of all time, and I would go as far to say it is the greatest movie of all time, because it is just so influential and so impactful. Star Wars was ahead of its time, and was extremely, extremely influential to many other films A New Hope was. But Empire Strikes Back puts so much more into the characters. It's consistently extremely well paced. The ideas, the constant tension, every single little nod, every single tiny little second, something interesting is happening. Like the space slug, or Luke landing in some water and the X-Wing floating down. Just every single little second they put a little extra thing to go wrong in there. And again, I love The Empire Strikes Back. It is a phenomenal film. It's an amazing pinnacle of filmmaking that has never ever been reached till this day. I don't think the quality of films has never been as good as The Empire Strikes Back was in 1980. I still think this is the greatest and most influential film I've ever seen. It is my personal favorite movie of all time. And again, for issues, there really is nothing. I mean, that is very rare. I mean, I've watched and analysed this movie so many times. As I said, I've seen it 5 times this year. And I do watch it around that amount of times each year because I just love analysing it. I love watching it because, surprisingly, every single time I watch it, I get something new out of it. I'm not just covered with chills and excitement. And it really gets me excited every single time I watch it. It makes me love movies every single time I watch this movie, but it's one of those movies where I just like, oh my god. I really forget I'm watching a movie, and there's some things in The Empire Strikes Back that really do make me feel things. Darth Vader is a badass, Luke is an amazing character, Yoda is some amazing, Han and Leia, phenomenal, Hoth, Dagobah, Cloud City, the asteroid field, Boba Fett. So many amazing things given in The Empire Strikes Back that will never be matched. It is the best Star Wars movie. The Empire Strikes Back is the greatest, and it will stay that forever. There is no way The Empire Strikes Back is escaping from an A+, and a 10 out of 10. If I could give it any higher, screw it. 11 out of 10, A++ for The Empire Strikes Back. Comment down below your opinions on this movie, and of course, thanks for watching, and goodbye.